Hey guys, hi, my name is Ade. Thank you for joining me today. So today I will be discussing one of my favorite houses, and that is Xerjoff. Okay, I have 6 Xerjoff fragrances here, and so I will be ranking them for you guys today. And so if you would like to know more about my favorites from my collection of the House of Xerjoff, just stay tuned. So coming in at number 6 is a newbie to my collection, and this one is called Symphonium, and I believe that this one is probably the most expensive of them all, and I want to say because of the type of oud that is in here. Yes, I did say oud is in here. So when this opens up, I'm getting, this is basically like a milk chocolate to me and oranges type of fragrance. And so yeah, it's really beautiful, and it actually has 2 types of oud in here. One of the oud I think is called Laotian oud, and the other one is like a Thai oud, but it doesn't smell like oud. It actually just smells like a woodiness to me, like a woody dry down. Yeah, that's what I get in it, and I actually didn't blind buy this. I got like a little sample off of Lucky Scent. And yeah, so it was good enough for me to purchase the full bottle. But this one is, I probably won't repurchase this if I ever finish this bottle. So I believe that this retails for this 50 ml, this is $450, guys. I know that is insane. And so this is Symphonium, and that is coming in at number 6, Symphonium. So my number 5 fragrance will be this one right here, and this is Italica, and this is coming from the Cosmopolitan line. I kept this on because when I got this from a retailer in Canada, I don't have to say their name. If I say Canada, you know, it was like leaking, and so I was kind of sad about that, but I was like, hey, you got it for a discounted price. It is what it is. So this one is a literal gourmand fragrance, right? And what I get is like a real milkiness, a creaminess, definitely. There's almond in here. When I first smelled this fragrance, this was not a blind buy. I was in Turkey, in Istanbul, Turkey, in the airport. And so that is when I totally kind of like fell in love with the House of Xerjoff. And so the lady let me smell a lot of the fragrances. I walked away with one of the ones that's on the list today. And she let me smell this, but they didn't have it at the time to purchase. And I was like, oh, I smell cherry. She was like, oh no, it's not cherry, it's almond. Excuse me, lady. I didn't tell her that, but excuse me, I know what I'm smelling. And so I promise you that cherry has to be a note in here, but they just don't want you to know their formula, so they didn't list it. But I'm telling you, there has to be some type of cherry or some type of berry in this fragrance. That cannot be almond. I know that almond sometimes smells like cherry, but this smells like a literal fruit, okay? And so I'm getting like caramel in there. I don't think caramel is a note, but it kind of sort of is a note because there's also toffee in there. So it's like really creamy, milky caramel with this cherry nuance. Almonds are in there. There's also saffron in there as well. Now, when I wore this like full body wear, I got like this sharp tart note, and I don't know if that's coming from the saffron or the almond, but I can see how maybe some people may not like this fragrance because of that sharpness that's in this fragrance. I actually think that this fragrance would do also very well as a candle. It just strikes me as like, I want that candle in my house for the fall, for the winter. It's very cozy, but I like the fragrance. So, and I actually love the Cosmopolitan line the best out of all the Xerjoff fragrances. So that's number 5, and that is Italica. Beautiful fragrance. So my number 4 goes to Erba Pura. Now I know that Marshmallow Marcy, she has the Erba Pura Gold. We don't have that one, well, access to that one here. I think she said she got it from, I don't know if she got it from Harrods or Selfridges, but anyway, so this is Erba Pura, and really it's just a whole bunch of fruits, like a fruit bowl with musk at the base, okay? And this is a heavy musk fragrance, so if you don't like musk, just totally stay away from this one. And it's also very fruity as well, so if you don't like fruity fragrances, then you might want to steer away from this one as well. But I totally enjoy this one, so when I was in Turkey, I was either going to get a different one that was on the list, or this one. I was like going back and forth between the two. Which one should I walk away with? And the lady was like, you should get this one because this one performs very well. I said, I know, but the other one, I like that one a lot too. So I did walk away with the other one. When I got back home, I did make sure that I went back and purchased this one. And so this one is also compared to Tiziana Terenzi's Kirke. Yeah, and so I actually like both of them. I have both of them, but I do feel like this one is like more beast mode than Kirke. That's just my opinion about it. Yeah, so that is, and people smell this one. This is a compliment getter. Every time I wore this one, and it stays in my clothes, like it projects really loud. And so you really don't need to overspray this one. It is a performer. This one is, and that is Erba Pura coming in at number 4. Now, this is the newest one to my collection, and this is coming from the Shooting Stars collection. This is La Capitale. Now, when I first heard this fragrance, I think they had it over there, but I was just smelling too much stuff at the same time. This one is really a softer and lighter fragrance, so it didn't like just pow wow me. And so I didn't remember the fragrance. And so I remember Greta Beth talking about this, and I like a lot of her fruity floral fragrances that she describes. So I remember that she talked about this fragrance, and I was like, okay, I put that on the list. But the thing is, we don't have a counter where we can go and smell these fragrances, right? So it's like you're just taking a chance. You got to get a sample, or you got to get a decant when it comes to the Xerjoff fragrances. But then when Denise Adore described this fragrance, and she said, what she said was, why don't they have 100 ml? And I like, she's always on point with those fresher fragrances. Like, I'm here with you, Denise. Like when she likes like the beach walk or sun bleach or whatever it is, I know if it's a fresh, light, airy fragrance and she's raving about it, I know that I can trust her opinion. And so I said, you know what? I think that I probably can blind buy it. But guess what happened? I walked into Neiman Marcus, and Neiman Marcus has a few of the Xerjoffs. And so this is one of them. I was like, oh, please, let me smell that La Capitale. And I did. And I was like, woo-wee, yes. And so went back and got this at a discounted price as well. And so, yeah, so this La Capitale is basically, to me, the main note that I get is strawberry, but I'm getting this leather, but it's not a harsh leather at all. It's almost like softer, like a suede. And I get a little bit of just a little bit of caramel. Now there's other notes in there. Like I was like, oh, it has saffron in there. It has ginger in there. I do not really get those notes. So the main notes that I get, like I said, is the strawberry. And so the leather, I would say that it smells like not new car, but more so like new shoe leather. Very light leather. Like it's just beautiful. And like this one and Curbeluga from Guerlain, like I like the way that the leather or the suede is done. It's really soft. It's wearable is what I'm saying. And so my number 3 Xerjoff is La Capitale. I love this one. So number 2 is Dolce Amalfi. And so Dolce Amalfi, truly, really and truly, what you are getting is a elevated juicy fruit, like the juicy fruit gum. Yes, it does totally, that description is totally on point, and I want to say simply Aisha described it as that, and that is what you're getting, okay? Juicy fruit. And so the notes that I get in here that stand out to me is that darn clove note. It's so good. It's so addicting in this fragrance. And also there's incense in this fragrance. Now the incense is not a heavy incense. It's just like a drop. Like I want to say Delina has like a touch of incense in there. So that is how I like my incense done. I like when it's just like a touch in there. It's like a really addicting fragrance. Now what I think that's giving it that bubblegum touch to it is the cardamom. I have noticed that cardamoms are smelling like gum or chewing gum, bubble gum, whichever one you want to call it, because in my Kriegler Charming California, that fragrance smells like bubble gum to me. And so I'm like, what is it in there? And so I went back and looked up the notes of that one and looked up the notes of this one, and that is the main note. It is cardamom. So I think I'm liking like a bubblegummy cardamom. And this fragrance just drives me up the wall insane. Oh, that's the first time that fell off, but whatever. Just put that back on there. Yeah, so this fragrance just drives me. I already know what it smells like. I don't need to respray it. Now, it does have the note of fruit of quince in here. We don't have quince here, but in the US, I don't think that's readily available, but it's like there's a fruity take in this, and I'm guessing that comes from the quince. This is such a beautiful fragrance. This is definitely something that you don't want to blind buy. This is definitely something that you want to sample before buying. Yeah, so that is my number 2 fragrance. So this is what I walked away with when I was in Turkey. I was like going in between Erba Pura, and it was this one. So this is the one that I purchased when I was in Turkey. And then when I came home, I had a little sample of Dama Bianca. And before I went on the trip, I had a little sample of Dama Bianca. I ordered it. And so when I came back from my trip, Dama Bianca was right at the door. Okay. And so those were my 2 starts, 2 fragrances that I bought from the house of Xerjoff initially. So as I mentioned, my number 1 is Dama Bianca. She is the most elegant vanilla. She's so pretty. She's so classy. She can be worn as a wedding day fragrance. She's like a special event type of vanilla. Now, when this fragrance opens up, where else do I have on me that I can spray? I can spray right here. Yeah. So, yep, I definitely get that like a malt. The malt is a note, and I do smell the malt in there. We used to drink those little malts as kids. So it comes off like a wine-like quality. There's something that's, kind of like boozy malt, wine-ish to me with the malt. And then also there is a note of kumquat in there. And so while I was at the grocery store, guys, I be picking up stuff. I be trying to study this stuff a little bit. I was at the grocery store and I saw fresh kumquats. And I was like, oh, that's a note that I see in my perfume that I really haven't tried or, tasted or smell, or, I don't really know exactly what it smells like. And so basically what it is, it just looks like a little orange, okay? But what it tastes like, and this is, I cut it open right here, so I cut it vertically. So, and what it tastes like is, it basically is really bitter, and it tastes like a lemon to me. And so it's not something that I would just open these up and eat them. I'll probably like squeeze it, in some tea, or squeeze it in a juice or something, and that's the other way, like that. And so that is a kumquat. And so it just has a citrus, like a lime or orange quality to it. And so this note is in Dama Bianca. Now, I'm not saying that I could really smell, maybe it adds like a freshness to this fragrance. Yeah, so Yeah, so this is the most beautiful vanilla. I mean, I did a vanilla video, and so this is my #1 vanilla. I love it so much. And so that is Dama Bianca coming in at #1. So that was my top 6 Xerjoff fragrances. Let me know, what are some of your favorite Xerjoff fragrances? What you would like to add to your collection, which ones from the list might be some of your favorites, which one from the list you might not like at all. It's okay. You can let me know even if you don't like some fragrances, that's okay. And so I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, as it will help my algorithm. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate everyone for tuning in. And until next time, I will see you in the next video. Peace.